Hands up. Okay, you might be able to hear us. How's sound sounding? I think we're on.
Are we?
I don't know.
I hope so.
I don't hear myself.
I don't hear myself either. But hey, that is the beauty
That's cool.
of roller derby, flying by the seat of our pants.
Yes.
Hi, I am Tara Armoff.
I am G.I. Jones.
And we are here to bring to you more men's derby here at the Big
More
O.
men's derby. This will be my second men's game of the day this morning. Of course, seeing VMRD in action against the Glenmore Reservoir Dogs of Calgary. And here they are against another Canadian team, Vancouver Murder.
Yes, that's right. So, Vancouver Murder played Bridgetown yesterday, and they lost 273 to 108. And for a little triangulation, anyway, and VRDL played against Puget yesterday.
Yes.
Lost to them 366 to 59, but won against Calgary.
Won against Calgary this morning. Like I said, I called that game for house, and it was a really fun game to watch. Lots of camaraderie, lots of friendliness, and fist bumps and high fives and low fives on both the VRDL and the Glenmore team as they went on and off the track. Whether or not the score was 10-0 or 0-0 at the end of the game. They were super friendly and great.
Well, that's nice. Do you think that since we have a team with murder in their name, that this will be as nice of a game?
Well, Murder doesn't really go with the whole Canadian theme of apologizing and saying sorry and being really polite.
And a distinct lack of poutine on the bench.
Definitely no poutine out there because Western Canada. I mean, it does exist out there, but not as big as it does out east. Calgary just finished Calgary's Poutine Fest, as a matter of fact, speaking of Canadian teams. But the Vancouver Murder, great bunch of guys. There's a whole bunch of them. If you look at the names, you'll recognize some names from Team Canada Men's. You've got Stand Aside out there, Gordon Walker.
Just go down the roster.
Let's go through the roster, and I'll give you who's out there. You're going to have 00 Bennett. You're going to have 100 Scott Slamilton. You'll recognize him. 110 Mr. Testosterone. 111 Payne Thredsky. Number 12 Walker. Number 17 Zimmer. Number 1936 Harrison Ford. Number 22 Nelson. 333 Svensson. 4 Stand Aside. 53 Demolition Herbie. 56 Iron Fist. 66 Tischborn. 68 Kremley G. Budakra. And then that's it for the team. You've got Coach Decker and Coach Russian Destruction out on there helping them out.
All right, for the Victorian Vanguard, we have 05 Lucky Phil, 117 Faster Chief, 1212 Mosh Pit No Jutsu, 22 Princess Twinkle Toes, 3 Lulu, 39 JS, 4 Gohan, 51 Pretty Skate Machine, 511 Serial Killer, 671 Coupe Deluxe, 7 Wolf Brother. Captain is number 75, Just Incredible, 82, McFly, and number 99, Mavericky.
There we go. And that being said, the time to run down to the game start is down, and we are on the go here out on the track. We've got number 1212, Mosh Pit No Jutsu, who did a lot of jamming this morning, going up against Mr. Testosterone, also a very common jammer with the Vancouver Murder.
No Jitsu getting recycled to the back. Testosterone in the front.
Looks like we have an injury out there, just in case. Justin
Credible.
Justin Credible, the captain, heading to the bench, holding his hand. It's going to put them down 1 blocker, VMRD. It's going to put them down 2 because number 3, Lulu, just went to the penalty box. And joining him, number 1212, our jammer, No Jitsu, is going to sit down. Vancouver out there, 4 blockers and a jammer, and Mr. T out of the pack first. We'll have 5 points on this board on the power jam.
So much fun when you get a power jam right in the first jam of
welcome
the entire
to the game. Here we go. And, oh gosh, Mr. T made easy work of the blocking line there. Walked right through, looks at the bench for some instruction, and carries on. Another 5 points on the board for him. Inside, he strolls right through the inside line, and another 5 up on the board.
No
Big hit happening from Pretty Skate Machine and Bennett.
No Jitsu out of the box on the track, getting out on his initial pass.
And Testosterone through for another 5. We'll call it off, leaving No Jitsu empty-handed on this first jam of the game.
And we saw a Pretty Hate Machine going to the penalty box for Victoria right at the very end. Pretty Skate Machine
I don't know. He might be
skate.
angry. He could be angry after that hit. It was a pretty big hit, and he ended up with a penalty.
He could be hating something, all right?
Hating the murder.
So
pretty negative. Let's not.
Pretty skate machine sitting in the penalty box. So Victoria will be down a blocker going into the second jam. 19 points already for the Vancouver Murder. 0 for Victorian Vanguard. Lucky Phil versus Lodge on the jammer line.
And both jammers into the pack. First one out there will be Lodge as Lucky Phil gets knocked out and recycled. Lodge coming around easily as Phil jumps the apex. A little hop, gets through, but earns himself a low block. As he does get through, he trips up one of the Vancouver players and is going to head to the box. Second jam, second set of penalties for the VMRD jammers, not VRDL. That's the other group.
Those guys.
The guys in blue.
The guys in blue. So it looked like Lodge called it off, and his bench looked a little confused. Like, why did you do that when you have a power jam?
I don't think he noticed.
Yeah, I
don't
think he noticed, but that is quite okay because it is a power start in favor of Vancouver, and we have Boudicra.
Fresh legs. Boudicra's out there ready to do what he does best, and that's jamming. I've constantly seen him on the jammer position. He's got 3 blockers to help him. One in the box. That's Payne Threatsky that's sitting in the box for Vancouver. And he's out of the pack and will pick up lead.
Pack coming into turn 3. Everyone's coming out of the penalty box except for Lucky Phil.
And Boudica through the pack will put 5 on the board in this power jam. This power jam now over as Lucky Phil removes his cover and heads back to the track. Boudica trying a small apex jump, unsuccessful, will recycle himself as Phil makes his way into the pack.
Lucky Phil trying to make his way through. He has 2 to beat at the front to get out on his initial pass, but Vancouver Murder has reset in the front.
4 points on the board for Boudica as he comes back in on another scoring pass. Now 4 Victorian members to fight against. Princess Twinkletoes up there trying to stop him. Boudica deciding he's had enough, calls it off, allowing no points on the board for VMRD.
But I like how Lucky Phil has the dark glasses on, so he has the deal with it effect going on. So even if he doesn't score, deal with it.
Yeah. This morning, though, he switched it up on me. He swapped shirts and then changed his glasses out for some clear ones. And I wasn't sure what I was seeing on the track when he lined up on the jam line because his other shirt doesn't say Lucky Phil. It says Crazy Legs or Crazy Candyman or something like that. It was
Crazy
weird.
Candyman.
And harassing Ford out on the jam line.
Up against Faster Chief. Faster Chief just stalled in the back.
Oh, looks like we've got Princess Twinkletoes heading to the penalty box for VMRD as harassing Ford makes his way out and gets lead for Vancouver. Faster Chief nowhere to be seen. There he is. He's working his way around here in front of us to the penalty box. Another jammer penalty on another jam for VMRD.
3 jams, 3 power jams in favor of the Vancouver Murder so far in this game. Now the Victorian Men's League new, they're unranked, and so this may explain why they're getting so many penalties. They just haven't had enough play time together yet.
And yeah, harassing Ford putting 5 points on. He's going to make his way around the pack. The pack, of course, now a 3-on-3 blocking pack. Princess Twinkletoes on his way back into the pack.
I'm jealous of that skirt that Twinkletoes is wearing.
I complimented him this morning on the outfit. Very flashy, kind of my thing when I play. So I enjoyed seeing that.
Faster Chief just meeting the sad place, coming out of turn 2.
This is no fun for him.
No
They have an
fun.
excellent tripod going on there, locking him down. Now a little bit of offense from his teammates is going to split things apart, but Zimmer's going to reorg his people and get back together with Bennett to lock him down some more. And he goes down at the end of those whistles with absolutely no success getting through.
Victoria still shut out so far in this game. No points on the board. 49 for the Vancouver Murder. They got 13 points in that last jam.
And again, at the end of that jam, as I mentioned with Calgary this morning, some high fives going between the teams, good jobs and stuff like that. I mean, you know, this is a new friend that's come into the league, And so, yeah, welcome them in. Sure, let's beat them up, but at the same time, hey.
We'll beat the snot out of
Thanks
them
for
and not
coming
let
and
them
joining
score
us.
any points, but welcome anyway.
So Mosh Pit Jiu-Jitsu going into that 3-wall of Vancouver players at the front, deking them out. Gets around stand aside, but then gets knocked out by Mr. Testosterone, who steps out of bounds, so he is able to get through, and lead goes to Mr. T, who's dancing with him, and some serious hits happening between those two jammers.
Looked like he was trying to eat the baby a little bit going on the defense as he came out of the pack, unable to stop No Jitsu, so now it is a race to get back around.
Boom! Mr. Testosterone into that pack, blows them apart, gets his 2 points, calls off the jam, locking down Victoria again to 0 points.
Really well-timed call-off on that. Getting 2 points, 51 points total for the Vancouver Murder, 0 for the Victorian Vanguard, 22 minutes, 33 seconds in the first half.
Have Lucky Phil out there lining up against Lodge. The pack all the way to the front by the pivot line. Trying to sort things out. Looks a little bit of confusion there on Vancouver's part. And we're off. Svensson and Payne Thretzky going to try to do their best to take Lucky Phil out, but that's a split-apart blocking line. Not so successful, but now they've managed to get back together and slow things down.
Really nice brace work by Vancouver at the front of the pack.
Still a kind of a jumbled pack, mixed of colors there. Not too sure where Lodge is in all that. He's tucked in the middle between some Vancouver and VMRD players.
Lodge is on the ground.
There he is. Yeah, and there goes Phil spinning around Walker and getting out, but then falling down, having to recycle himself. Lodge getting knocked out by number 39, JS of VMRD.
VMRD getting their bracing together near the front of the pack. Lucky Phil taking advantage of the outside, but Lodge gets out, gets lead.
Phil knocked out by Zimmer, who's going to get clipped. And no impact judged there, no penalties. So Phil now pushing in. Looks like he's reaching for his helmet cover, but nothing's happening yet as his pivot's up front, trying to lock down Lodge from getting any points.
Walker to the penalty box, having to let Phil go, but Phil still not finding any relief. Lodge through for a scoring pass for the Murder.
5 points on the board there. Now he's going to lean and get right into that. Zimmer knocking Phil out to the inside, but Zimmer picking up a penalty forearm on that end. Lodge recycled. It comes skating back with his teammate Zimmer, and now we have Phil out of the pack. Will Lodge catch it? He's got his hands near his hips, and there you go.
I like the little jazz hands.
He does that. That's his communicate. That's a common thing with him. He'll look at his bench and wiggle his hands, and there you go. Just wait for the go.
Victoria does make it on the board. They score 4 points
Where'd they get
to Vancouver Murder 61 total. Just over 20 minutes in the first period of this
very
game.
Much. A lot of confusion. There's even like the coach is asking, how the heck did those 4 points get on there? He was on an initial pass. He was
that's
coming
what I
in
thought
for a
too.
scoring pass. And so obviously some confusion here on the coaching side. And I don't know if it's justified. We'll see. We can't replay this. I can't look back, but to my knowledge, he wasn't in on a scoring pass yet before Lodge called it off.
I guess we're going to find out in a second
yeah.
because I imagine that is what this official review is about. And in the meantime, let's talk about
we can do those things.
Yes, we can talk about our sponsors because they are amazing. And want to thank Radar Wheels. Brigo is proudly sponsored by Radar Halo. Pick up a set of Halos today and see what you have been missing. Also, Big O would like to thank the photographers.
Oh, yes.
All of the photographers doing awesome things.
They are. Make sure you like their pages and you ask permission before sharing their photos when they're shared.
That's right. Special shout out to Steve Sharky Mancini, who has organized this year's crew. Thank you so much, Sharky, for all of your work. Takes a village to put on such a huge event. Thanks to the support staff, volunteers, announcers, and everyone who is helping make the Big O happen this year.
Production crew, shout out to them as we talk on their equipment.
That's right. Live stream broadcast thanks to Tieback Production Services for filming and live streaming this event all weekend. And On track 1, DJ Agent Meow.
I've heard of that guy.
I've heard of that guy.
He's not alone over there.
Oh
I don't have the other names, but there are other DJs doing an awesome job as well as him.
But he is the one who is...
he's running the show. He's the tournament head DJ?
That's right.
There we go.
That's right.
DJ.
And he is awesome, and he almost got his equipment taken out last night during the Victoria
I saw the picture that
Rose
went up
Gate.
there, the new bumper, the new dedicated memorial bumper.
The Christy
gear.
Marie Demons memorial bumper on the table so that
Yes.
no expensive equipment gets
That's
broken.
a scary thought when that comes along.
Yeah.
That is expensive equipment.
Yes, it is. So, but fantastic work by Agent Meow. We appreciate it greatly.
Okay, I see no change on the scoreboard, and I see no change on the track in general, so I'm going to say whatever that official review was for was a no change, no impact, nothing. And I imagine Vancouver lost their challenge, perhaps.
Faster Chief jamming for Victoria, but Mr. Testosterone, look at that footwork as he gets out. Track cut by Faster Chief. This is the 4th power jam given to the Vancouver Murder.
And Mr. T looking at his jam ref and confirming that he is lead because of what happened as he leaps over the apex, because Walker got a penalty in the beginning. It was a no pass, no penalty for the jammer who picked up a cutting the track penalty, which leaves Testosterone out there on his own for another power jam.
Wide open outside line, Testosterone riding it like a rail. Victorian just taken by complete surprise as he comes through. Now he's in for another scoring pass. His teammates just mixing up that pack for him.
Beautiful offense from his teammates. Payne Threatsky's going to head to the penalty box, though. Not sure what the call was, but he is down one teammate helping him.
Faster Chief through on with a star stash. So that's through on his initial pass.
And then Mr. T tapping his hips, calling off, looking at the bench to make sure.
19 points in that one jam. 80 points total for the Vancouver Murder. 4 for the Victorian Vanguard.
And if I recall, Mr. T's last jam was also 19 points. So we can go with, 38 now for him?
There's a theme going on.
Yeah. On the line now, Mosh Pit Nojutsu going on against Budakra. Penalty box sitting with one Vancouver Murder player in there.
Victorian setting up a tripod in the back.
Just Incredible gone to the penalty box as Nojutsu is out and lead finally for Victorian.
Budaka also out on his initial pass as well. Pack had sped up, started to slow down. Nojutsu deciding to call it off. His own teammates were in the back, so it didn't benefit him to continue the jam.
Yeah.
Because the Murder would have scored.
The old getting to the front there would have helped out in the in this case, but as we know, Derby's always evolving, and some people don't do that get to the front thing as soon as your opposing jammer's out. 2 in the box now for Vancouver. We got Payne Threatsky, who came out, managed to be there long enough to pick up another penalty and head back to the box. He's joining Scott Slamilton, who went there before the end of that last jam.
Harrison Ford and Lucky Phil, the jammers in this jam. Lucky Phil getting knocked to the inside. He gets out. He gets lead. Harrison Ford caught up by the tripod of Victoria, but he does make it out on his initial pass.
Lucky Phil coming in really fast. He's only got 2 blockers to deal with, but those 2 blockers are Zimmer and Walker, and they were not going to let him through. Sorry.
And they let him fly so hard that he just decides to call it off. It's because just not enough time for him to get back up and start scoring.
He did, however, pick up 3 points because he got that one hip, which gave him the 2 that were not on the track sitting in the penalty box. So 3, almost doubling their score, Victorian. And a timeout by Vancouver.
And interesting that Victorian was able to shut out Murder on that jam too.
I
think that's the first time we have seen that happen.
That was the case. Okay, we'd like to do a quick sponsor read on Rydell Skates. Shout out to Rydell Skates, proud sponsor of the Big O. Powerdyne has changed the game again. Be sure to check out the newly redesigned Arius Platinum plate. Arius Platinum. Performance redefined.
Cut to order. Cuban Ocean has been proudly serving Eugene since 1970. Thank you very much for your sponsorship and support of Big O 2017.
Hopefully we don't see any action from them, but a big shout out to Harmony Medical, who are here today, our EMTs, helping out anybody getting injured. We want to, of course, avoid any injuries and not see them in action at all this weekend.
Yes, I think they enjoy it when they just get to sit and watch Derby instead of having to attend to anyone.
That's not a bad deal, you know. Have your med pack beside you and watch some cool roller derby. Some hard-hitting roller derby action all weekend long. And that's kind of what we've got going on here. Lodge is going to be out on the track going up against Faster Chief. Again, Vancouver's still down 2 skaters. Payne Thresky standing in the box. He's now joined by Zimmer. Scott Slamilton back on the track, and VMRD with all 4 of their blockers out there.
Faster Chief has one to beat. Oh, he gets called out on a track cut.
Put Lodge out there on a power jam. He has to make his way through, though, to get this thing started, and that's exactly what he does. Oh, but he does not. He picks up a cut of the track penalty.
This is the first power jam that will be in Victorian's favor, but it's not going to be for very long.
That's going to be the first, first jammer penalty for Vancouver. But yeah, do-si-do is going to happen, and we're going to have big, heavy
That was
hit.
really huge.
Faster Chief, though, getting back up and getting back into the game. That was stand aside. Stand aside does hit hefty. And look at this blocking triangle. Scott Slamilton not even being a part of it. He's just communicating to those blockers. And you know what? It's working. Now he's going to do a little O for his Lodge. Faster Chief still stuck behind those Vancouver skaters. Gets knocked out.
Oh, out of play. Block.
Out of play block by stand aside. Wow,
Yeah.
It didn't seem that far, but that's...
Nope, stand aside was inbounds, and Faster Chief was not, so...
There we go.
Wow.
Scott Slamilton getting a penalty, going the long way around, forgetting the new rule. You know what? Instinct's hard to get rid of once you've done it for so long.
I was going to say,
way.
how long has Slamilton been around as a skater?
Exactly. And Faster Chief out, and no points now. He's on his initial pass. He'll
That's
finally
his initial pass because of the star stash.
He'll put that star back on as Lodge is through on his initial. So here's Faster Chief's chance.
Oh.
He didn't put enough of his body down, so that doesn't count as a cut.
And Zimmer was just enough of a distraction to help him fail that landing.
Yeah, 4 points on the board, though, as Lodge picks up 3.
11 points total for the Victorian Vanguard, 83 for the Vancouver Murder. 14 minutes, 29 seconds in the first period, and we have another timeout going on.
We have an official timeout. If you note the at the penalty box, the tape is a little damaged going into the box, and they will probably do some tape repairs there, which will give the teams a chance to catch their breath. Meanwhile, a little bit of a slow start for Victorian, but they're at 11 now. They're putting up points, a couple more at a time each time, and so we can accept a 5-point or higher jam from them soon, I would expect.
Well, considering that they are going up against the number 6 team in the MRDA, they're actually doing pretty good.
They are. They're doing very
think.
well.
So, and again, it's one of those things where the cliches come in of they get so much experience in these types of games, and it's going to be for the best. And so,
the experience. It's almost like that awesome exposure you get as a photographer when people offer not to pay you, right? So, hey, you know what? You're getting destroyed, but you're getting experience. But the destruction isn't there yet. Like, we're only halfway through the first half. I've seen games that have started at this level and then come back up,
Mr. Testosterone planning on taking the outside line, going up against Serial Killer. I think this is Serial Killer's first jam in this game.
That's right, and that was a feint by Mr. T. He pulled right and then went left because they all lean that way. And Walker doing a great drawback on number 511 there, Serial Killer, as Mr. T is back into the pack, trips up, and is going to have to recycle against the JS of Vanguard.
Vanguard setting up a back square as defense, and Mr. T getting stopped for a minute there, and Serial Killer coming up on his own players, getting
I saw that.
getting blocked by them just a little bit, but he makes it out.
But leading with the head penalty, he kind of put some weight into that.
Power Jam number 6 given to the Vancouver Murder. And Mr. T is through for 5 points.
Okay, giving Svensson giving one of the Vanguard players a little bit of a time. Lulu taking a swing at Testosterone, who puts his weight into it, looks back and says, "Nuh-uh." And so Slamilton is up front now with the VMRD blocking line, teasing them. Walker's going to do some house cleaning. Mr. T's like still a lap back almost.
I was going to say that was interesting timing by them, but it doesn't matter because look at Mr. T twirling around on the outside. He does go out, but he's going to reset. No, actually, he's going to call it off as Serial Killer comes out of the penalty box after scoring 10 more points for the Vancouver Murder.
Having played Vancouver before, that tactic is very surprising. When you're a blocker and you're like, oh, that guy's way out there, no one's going to bother me, and all of a sudden somebody just takes you out. It plays with your mind a little bit. You're always on edge from that point on, and that could be the tactic.
And it's interesting because I think also in men's derby, you still get a lot of hitting for the sake of hitting, where it's not all about strategy.
Keep your eyes on Svensson when he's on the track. That guy has a great time blowing people up when they're not ready for it. And, yeah, it happens. But
Boudicra almost out of the pack, got knocked to the infield for the Vancouver Murder. He is up against No Jitsu. No Jitsu now trying to thread the needle. He gets out. He does get lead for the Victorian Vanguard.
That's right. And the VRDL girls at the end of the track very happy about that, cheering him on as he pops through. Boudicra being recycled once again. Jiu-Jitsu back in and working his way with only 2 blockers left, Bennett and Iron Fist, but Bennett will knock him out, and it looks like another penalty is going to happen.
Track cut on No Jitsu.
Okay, so lead is now gone. Boudicra out there on a power jam yet again. I believe number 8?
7.
7.
Yes. Victorian trying to make that pack go as fast as possible. They're able to hit Boudicra out, bump him out to the outside.
He's getting bumped around all over the place by a pretty skate machine. A 4-wall to deal with. Not much offense coming from his players, though, which is usually the case. I think they're letting him work on his own a little bit. They're waiting in anticipation for that jammer that just came out of the penalty box, and that's Nojutsu back out on the track.
That's right, Nojutsu back on the track, so Murder goes on all defense. Nojutsu, low block, goes back. Oh, track cut.
Another track cut.
Another track cut. So that is power jam number 8 for the Vancouver Murder.
We got one of us is keeping track. Oh,
Twinkle Toes.
Twinkle Toes getting a big hit by Slamilton.
Yeah.
Checks his makeup and gets back on the track. Boudicra now back in, having been recycled by Twinkle Toes. And picking up 5 in that last instance. And 4 going on the board, though, for Victorian, even though he's sitting in the box.
That bumps Victorian score up to 15. Vancouver Murder breaking the century mark, 102. 10 minutes, 15 seconds left in the first period.
Walker out there having a little chat with the jam ref for Victorian, questioning points, I want to say. Pretty much got ignored by Kill Trip. And so, yeah, we're now on a timeout for Victorian.
Yes, a team timeout.
Team timeout.
Do you want to get better at Derby?
Who doesn't?
Well, if you do, then you should attend Derby Days Boot Camp hosted by the world champion Rose City Wheels of Justice. It is happening August 11 through 13th, so look them up on the internets.
Yes, definitely. And you know what? Do that right after you get back from RollerCon.
Yes.
Because RollerCon, of course, happening, as we all know, at the last weekend in July. Have you been to RollerCon?
A few times.
I think I've seen you there a couple times.
A few times.
Yeah, same here. It is the best time of your life. I'd have to agree with that. The parties that we have there, the entertainment value is top-notch, and the learning value of RollerCon is incredible. July 26th to 30th, 2017, Las Vegas. Good time.
Yes, it is. It's definitely one of the best Derby events in the year, as far as I'm concerned. I've been there every year, actually.
Okay, so I'm not, obviously we know I'm not that old in the Derby world. My first year I skipped it because I was like, what's this all about? Oh, didn't I regret that when I learned about it the second year and I went down. It was a good time, and it has been.
Back to the action. Harrison Ford jamming for the Murder in a power start.
He's out, and he has lead now for the Vancouver Murder. Meanwhile, on the penalty bench, we have Nojutsu, Mosh Pit Nojutsu, 12-12, that's going to make his way back onto the track. He does a juke, but jukes himself down to the ground.
And drops the helmet cover in the process.
And Harrison Ford's going to get through on his first scoring pass as Nojutsu goes up against Zimmer and Nelson. Svensson almost picking up a cutting the track penalty to join them. Nojutsu out of the pack now on that initial pass.
I liked how Zimmer was mirroring Nojutsu through the pack to catch him at every turn.
Zimmer has that incredible skill, and he just does not get out of your way when he's in your way.
3 more points scored by the Vancouver Murder. 106 total. Victorian still at 15. Just over 9 minutes left in the first half.
Okay, so he's done it, but he's got an even more different shirt. That's Smiley Pete out there. I mentioned Candyman, but he must have a half a dozen shirts. He is having a fun time with this, and I think it's kind of cool.
It is entertaining. So that is Lucky Phil, Smiley Pete,
Candyman or whatever it is, but
Mr. Deal with it, whatever you want to call him. It is number 05, who is the jammer for the Victorian Vanguard, who is caught in the back.
He stays within the rules. He keeps his number proper, and he plays with the names. Meanwhile, as we were talking about that, Lodge is out of the pack and will have lead for Vancouver.
Lucky Phil has taken the cover off, trying to be sneaky with the Star Stash, while Lodge just blows through the pack, picking up 5 points for the Vancouver Murder.
Speaking about blowing, Bennett just blowing up Phil, and apparently not, getting the cut the track penalty, but yes, the cutting of the track has been given to Smiley Pete. Lucky Phil. It's going to put Vancouver on a power jam.
The 9th power jam just in this half.
That's true. Yeah, that was Bennett doing that big hit, and then he was so shocked. Bennett went all the way back, and he didn't even notice it. Picked up the cut as he went back on. Lodge out here pushing through the pack, getting knocked out by a combo move of number 75, Just Incredible, who's going to pull him back as he looks up at the clock.
Murder back to full strength on the track as the jam ends. That is a 13-point jam for the Vancouver Murder. 119 points total. Victorian Vanguard stalled at 15 points. 7 minutes, 14 seconds in the first half.
Wow. And Mr. T looks like he's lining up for that pull to the right
little
and
psycho.
move to the left. Watch the rest of his team's moving. Look at Zimmer.
Look at him.
Look at Zimmer.
Look at him when he's about to go.
But watch Zimmer. Zimmer's there just to knock that guy out of the way for him. There you go. He couldn't read that play. Like that's written for you right there. Look what we're about to do. Don't fall for it. Done. And Testosterone is through the pack on that power start. He's going to jump this apex. Takes down. Unfortunately, he's going to pick up a low block, maybe? Yes, a low block on Lucky Phil, who seems to be favoring his foot, but he's on a power jam now for a Victorian.
Hey, kudos to Smiley Feet, Lucky Phil, whatever you want to call him. He is back up and trying to capitalize on this power jam as much as possible. Looking for help from his teammates. Murder just doing such a fantastic job of mixing up Victorian. They don't even know where to go.
That's exactly what's happening here.
Oh, nice big hit by Svensson.
And there you go. He is through. Lucky Phil looking at the VRDL girls down at the end and getting some high five cheers as he's going to come in. And in that time, Testosterone has managed to get back on the track and through to pick up points. Look at that. 4 points.
Lucky Phil still in the middle of the pack. He's getting pushed to the outside, manages to stay in bounds, twirl around, can't get around that cube in the front. But look at Mr. Testosterone trying to deal with that back cube.
But did you see him going into that? He did got 360 there just to, confuse everybody.
Lucky Phil getting hit to the outside, has to recycle back. Mr. T through for another 5 points for Vancouver. And psyching himself around Lucky Phil.
If he was going to go for a hit or not, he held back on that. Looking at the hand, it was actually 4 points on that last pass for Mr. T, and he's going to come and get another 4 anyway. No, that one's a 5. That one he lapped the jammer. Because he had come out from the penalty box, he didn't get that jammer lap point, I believe, in the last one, and an official review being called by Victorian.
13 points, nonetheless, scored in that last jam by Mr. T. 132 points for the Vancouver Murder, and still Victorian Vanguard at 15. The clock is stopped at 4 minutes, 51 seconds and a half.
Now, Victorian had a power jam there and was unable to get any points up on the board on that. That's a little frustrating, I can imagine.
Well, especially, you look at how many power jams there have been. 9 in favor of Vancouver and 2 in favor of the Victorian Vanguard. And it's just, Vancouver just is skating so well together.
They practice weekly, I mean, as most leagues do. And
I would hope so.
Yeah, they just gel. They a lot of these guys are not, like, to my knowledge, I can't see anybody that's new on Vancouver that I haven't seen for the past couple of years. So, you know, when you're that much with the same group, you tend to gel, and they really gel together and work as a team. It's not, you know, I'm the superstar jammer, I'm the superstar blocker, I want to be more recognized than another. They all understand that as Vancouver, they're going to climb up the standings if they work together.
It'll be interesting to see where the Vanguard goes from here.
That's right. I mean, you know, rankings and stuff is going to be interesting. They step in the door. They played against some pretty interesting teams this weekend. So who knows where it's going to happen. And weekly, we're seeing more teams getting into the MRDA, and that's going to mix things up because you get teams that come in at such a high number when they do join. Not sure what that official review was. We could check with our table mates, but it looks like there was a discussion of points perhaps because Jam Ref just came over to clarify that it was 11-15, the points jumped, so 4 points went up. Maybe that's what it was. They didn't think they got all the points that they had earned.
Faster Chief on the jammer line for the Victorian Vanguard up against Boudicra.
He's the tall one. Tall one with the shin guards.
Yeah, it's the shin guards that I keep noticing.
The shin guards that are taller than me because he's tall.
And Faster Chief getting recycled to the back by Bennett.
Boudicra is out with a lead now for Vancouver. Helmet cover off for Faster Chief.
Vancouver setting up their defensive cube in the back at turn 1. Bennett coming in as an assist, trying to break apart that cube. Victorian doing a pretty good job sticking together on this.
You call it a cube, I call it a W at some points. But yes, definitely Boudicra having some fun back there, trying to get through. Very efficient defensive blocking by Victorian. They've upped their game on that last official review.
Faster Chief going down, getting it some assists by Just Incredible, but Vancouver just is not willing to be distracted. Look at Boudicra twirl out, get his points.
Just Incredible had that skill this morning of being able to read that play and get back in. Fortunately, he was out of play on that one just now, but he was there and ready, had he been in play, to sit on Boudicra and lock him down even more.
Another smack down to the track for Faster Chief, still working on his initial pass.
Offense by stand aside.
Boudicra facing a tripod of death in the front. Nice breakup by number 56, Iron Fist.
Scott Slamilton heading to the penalty box. And, a cut track penalty being assessed to Faster Chief by his jam ref as he heads to the penalty box, and that will put our number 10 power jam for Vancouver Murder as Boudicra looks over at the clock.
Pretty skate machine getting recycled to the back. Tries to put the smackdown on Boudicra. Boudicra taking himself out there at the very end.
Well, he didn't get us skating out of bounds as the whistles were going. Shoo, probably it went through his mind.
12 more points for the Vancouver Murder. That puts them at 144. Victorian still held scoreless at 15 points. 2 minutes, 30 seconds left in the first half. We see Harrison Ford out there on the track.
They got 3 points on that last jam, though. The scoreboard not reflecting that. The score team over here beside me to my left is going to adjust that. So actually 18 points for Victorian right now. Or it should be
Scoreboard
momentarily.
lies to us. How rude.
Well, the clipboard doesn't lie, according to the jam ref, and that's what's on there is 18. So Harrison Ford on his last blocker to deal with, and he is through and will get lead for Vancouver. That was Princess Twinkletoes doing their best to lock him down.
Faster Chief out of the box, back on the track, taking the long way around, building up a great deal of speed. We see a back block call being called on Harrison Ford. We now have a power jam in favor of the Victorian Vanguard.
Beautiful work by Justin Credible, getting in front of the jammer, Harrison Ford, and getting that penalty called. It is what it is. It's exactly where he hit him. And so he'll sit in the box for 30 seconds or less as Faster Chief is back out front.
Now, Harrison Ford took the cover off, and that should have been a scoring pass, right? Or was that?
We'll see when he returns to track if points are being thrown up.
Yeah, because that was interesting.
I'll be honest, I didn't track that, so I can't speak to it, but there you go. Faster Chief putting 4 points up, that's for sure.
Harrison Ford back on the track.
Zimmer out of the penalty box. Gets in front of him and slows him right down right away. Puts his arm out. Harrison Ford getting another black block on the same player.
That is the fourth power jam in favor of the Victorian Vanguard.
And Zimmer and Walker just hands-on with each other, knowing where each other is. Doing a great job of locking down the jammer. Scott Slamilton out there out of the penalty box, and he's back. Note the players. Like, they've always got a hand on another one. Look at the Vancouver. That's great to see, and obviously that's why things work in their favor.
What was the call on Faster Chief?
I don't know. He picked up 3, but was he skating to the penalty box?
I saw them.
There was a weird delay over
yeah.
there. Everything stopped, though the play didn't get whistled down. Injury? I'm not too sure.
I don't know what the heck is going on. Faster Chief is not in the penalty box. He's holding his back.
We are on intermission, however. We'll find out about that, and when we come back in about 15 minutes.
All right, halftime score 148-26 in favor of the Vancouver Murder. We will be back in about 14 minutes. And we are back from halftime.
There we go.
Here we are. So, Vancouver Murder, Victorian Vanguard. So, first off, an apology.
Definitely. And thank you for Facebook for bringing that to my attention.
Yes, Princess Twinkletoes, gender-neutral pronouns.
Them and they. And I was making the mistake. We were making the mistake. I did it this morning of saying him. And that was an assumption on my part. Big mistake. And
Twinkletoes knows about this. Twinkletoes has been apologized to, so no issues with Twinkletoes.
No, they are quite happy and a big smile on their face when I did go up and say, hey, by the way, I made the mistake this morning. And yeah, very cool. And there we go.
So the other thing I would like to talk about is penalties.
Yeah, you went and checked that board out, I hear.
I did. Vancouver Murder has 26 penalties total.
Okay.
And both Scott Slamilton and Payne Thretzky are sitting on 5 penalties.
5, and we still have another half. Okay.
Yes. Now, Victorian has 19 total.
Really?
Which is interesting when you consider
all jammer penalties.
I was going to say, when 10 of those are jammer penalties. And who is it? Faster Chief is sitting on 5.
Yeah,
There's a couple of other skaters sitting on 3, but Faster Chief is the only one who's in any real imminent danger of fouling out. So that is what the penalty count is. We have been told that there have been overlay issues in the first half of the game, and so we will try to talk about the score a lot more often.
Also, yeah, I'll pay more attention to my Facebook there. I completely did not look, and somebody had warned me good halfway through. Thanks, Julie, for giving me a heads up there. I didn't get it until we got to the halftime. So pay more attention to my Facebook. Let us know if something's up that we need to know about so that we can fix it right away. And back to the track, we've got Harrison Ford out there starting on his little own self, coming from the penalty box. There was a no jammer start on this start of the second half.
Faster Chief standing in the penalty box right now. Victorian in the front of the pack. Harrison Ford out and lead for the Vancouver Murder.
Okay, Faster is going to head back onto the track. Walker trying to catch him there. Walker is slick like that, and then he does another spinorama move, bringing Faster Chief all the way back and then up against him as Walker re-engages with his teammates, and Harrison Ford picking up a penalty and going to head to the box. Was he one of those guys that was at 5?
No, well, no, he was not on 5.
Is he there now? I wonder.
No.
Okay.
Because the next penalty count was 3, and there were a couple of... So, yeah, we're fine. And Faster Chief through the pack had done the star stash on the initial pass. Vancouver Murder setting up their brace wall in the front of the pack coming out of turn 2. Harrison Ford also out of the penalty box for the Murder.
Faster Chief getting some penalties called. Yeah, there you go. Walker came back at him. He did the, I got hit backwards move, and Walker picked up a penalty from Biggie Smalls. Meanwhile, Harrison Ford through the pack is going to put 5 points up. I'm not quite sure where Faster Chief is. Is this on his initial scoring pass, or is he on his second? We'll find out in a second. No pack being called, and he's going to go through and pick up 5 points.
Interesting. That's cool. Well, both jammers through for a scoring pass. Faster Chief coming back in, getting a little smackaroo from Nelson.
And then Nelson leaves him and goes up to join his teammates as Harrison Ford comes to the back. Pretty skate machine knocking him to the inside.
Harrison Ford building up speed as he comes up to the jammer line. The jam is called. 7-point jam for the Victorian Vanguard.
There we go.
All right.
So time break.
They're now up to 33 points. 10-point jam for the Vancouver Murder. 158 total. Again, if you're just turning in, Vancouver in the black with red, Victorian Vanguard in the blue with white.
And on the line of jamming, we have Lodge, number 8 for Vancouver, and Mosh Pit no Jutsu with the star for Victoria, number 1212.
No Jitsu trying to juke in and out, taking that outside line. He gets out and gets lead for the Victorian Vanguard.
He's got quite some speed on him, too, and he is out of the pack and flying. Meanwhile, Lodge catching up behind him, hoping to sneak in maybe and steal some points. We'll see what No Jutsu does. He remains in bounds. Jam called. I didn't even see him tap his hips, did you?
It's like he was so sneaky, but he did pick up a point. 1 point picked up by the Victorian Vanguard. They're up to 34. Vancouver holding steady at 157. 26 minutes, 43 seconds in the game.
Handshakes before the jam between Lucky Phil. Some fist bumps with the rest of the team. Him and Boudicra on the line, getting ready to jam for this next jam. Number 2 of the second half.
Lucky Phil changing his shirt back to the name that is actually on the roster for this game. Sneaky, sneaky.
Boudicra getting held up, but getting out. It could be a race to see who gets lead. Oh, there you go. Now that Justin Credible is out of play, Boudicra gets that lead status.
Svensson taking a seat in the penalty box on the Vancouver Murder side.
Pretty skate machine on his way out as Boudicra makes his way through the pack, gets a little hit.
Oh, Lucky Phil trying to go on defense.
With the star in his hand, both jammers now back into jammer mode, and Boudicra calling it off, not allowing any points on the board. Couldn't figure out who Lucky Phil reminded me of, and now I get it with his glasses. Daredevil, if you've watched the television show.
Is that what that's about?
The guy wears, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what his glasses are. He reminds me of the character Daredevil on television. I'm like, maybe he's blind. Maybe he's just a really, like...
So he's using sonar to get around the track?
Maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
Just making stuff up.
Here. On the track, Mr. Testosterone going up against Mosh Pit no Jutsu. That last jam, of course.
5 points scored by the Vancouver Murder on that last jam.
There you go. And Testosterone out with a big smile as he looks over to the fans.
Svensson coming out of the box as Mr. T passes by the penalty box, so he just drafts him through on the outside of the pack. Mr. Testosterone through for a scoring pass for the Vancouver Murder. That was beautiful.
Svensson's kind of big. It's easy to hide behind him. Mr. T's kind of a little wide, but not tall, so that might have worked. Oh, T doing a hard break
That
from
was-
the right over
oh
to the
my
left,
goodness.
almost tripping up Just Incredible.
Yeah.
He stayed on his feet, so no penalty was issued.
Victorian Vanguard setting up their wall in the middle of the pack right near the pivot line. Mr. T, though, able to tiptoe around Princess Twinkletoes, getting around them on that inside line.
He does those C cuts. As he comes right in, he will cut hard and then just completely, as he just did, completely change directions, throwing off his jam ref. Kilt trip, who goes down, as well as Mr. T.
Now, Mr. T trying to take out Nojitsu there at the last second, taking himself out, but still, Vancouver coming out on top. That is a 15-point jam for the Vancouver Murder. 177 total points for the Murder, up against 34 for the Victorian Vanguard.
It's fun to watch the refs come on over, and Mega Pickle walked over to a Kilt trip and mumbled something with a grin on his face, of course watching Kilt having gone down. And now we have an official timeout being called over in the apex of turn 1-2. Well, that'll give us a chance to talk about our sponsors, Radar Wheels. Thanks to the Radar Wheels for supporting the WFTDA and Big O. And the Rat City Rollers. Rat City Rollers, don't miss the only WFTDA playoff on the West Coast, Labor Day weekend, September 1st through 3rd in Seattle. Stay tuned to WFTDA.com for tickets.
I'm so excited that I may have the chance to go to a playoffs that I don't have to buy plane tickets to attend.
I wish that were possible. I flew to Vancouver. I was going to say, no, I drove to Vancouver last year. No, I did not. I flew to Vancouver. 10 hours versus 2 on a plane.
Oh, my goodness.
10-hour drive, but hey, we drove 19 to get here this weekend.
Well, you didn't want to fly with a brand new baby?
Can't. The rules say you can't fly without a passport, and she's 4 weeks old, so she only has a birth certificate. You can cross a land crossing or sea. We could have taken a boat. No boats
That
out of
would've been
Calgary,
fun.
though.
Oh.
No boats out of Calgary.
Well, that's a buzzkill.
There you go, right? So we ended up driving, and there we go.
We are
Lodge.
starting in a power start for Vancouver. I did not see why.
That might have been that official timeout we saw called, was a discussion on the fact that Mr. T dodge thing. I don't know what happened with the
Maybe
no
Nojitsu went out of bounds to avoid
Skated out of
it.
bounds,
Yeah.
maybe. That could have been a case.
From our vantage point, it was hard to see because we're not high enough to see what that's about. But at any rate, this is a power jam in favor of the Vancouver Murder. Nojitsu back on the track.
Lodge rolling all over the place, going up against the Princess Twinkletoes.
Nojitsu taking that inside line, doing a little apex jump, getting out on the initial pass with the Star
I
Stash.
want to say this morning most of his passes were on that inside line. He loves it, and he will go for that. Ooh! Let's see if they got anything there. They did. They got 1 point. The the bench calling out to Lodge to call it. My words. And too late, and Nojitsu picking up 1 point on Payne Threatsky, I believe.
That puts the Victorian Vanguard at 35, 186 for the Vancouver Murder. 22 minutes, 19 seconds on the game clock.
Something I'm seeing a lot this game is interaction between the refs and the players, of clarifications of stuff. I watched Walker walk over a few times and chat with people. That's good. It prevents things. When you don't know what's going on, a ref telling you, hey man, that high block was because of this, will prevent you from getting another one later on and keep the game flow.
And I remember a time when players were not encouraged to talk to refs at all.
Definitely not.
And I do like this approach better so that there's more transparency as to what the heck is going on. And speaking of transparency, Serial Killer really trying to break through that Vancouver Murder wall for the Victorian Vanguard, harassing forward, jamming for the Murder.
Neither one of them moving anywhere quite yet. Getting a little help from his friend there is Serial Killer. JS trying to help him through, now moving to a bridging position while Harrison Ford is locked at the back on that tripod of VMRD players. In the front, again, JS trying to shake things up to get his jammer through. No success against those floor blockers from Vancouver as they just swap spots as they get knocked out.
The lockdown by both teams really just amazing. Look at that reset that Murder just did.
I thought I was going to see a low block on Slamilton there. It wasn't called, and they get right back together, and now they're going to go help Harrison Ford possibly leave. Note they don't come back. They go past and back so that they don't get any direction in gameplay. This is an incredible jam.
Yeah,
We have
both jammers.
30 seconds left in this jam, and neither one has lead.
The jammer curse, or the announcer curse
the
strikes
announcer
again.
curse. And I bet you he's happy about that, though. And that's
Serial killer holding his face.
Harassing Ford, helmet cover off, still no success as he gets through. Then he does a beautiful sneaky star pass with Scott Slamilton, hands it off to him while he's huffing and puffing, and a beautiful execution of that. Slamilton now with the star as this jam comes to an end.
That is the first star pass we have seen in this game.
I believe so.
I know so because I've been keeping track.
Oh, well, look at you. Some discussion with Ninja out there. Just incredible, having a chat and saying, hey, this happened, that happened. And she said, explained it. That could prevent a penalty in the future. So, yeah, great. Chat with your refs if you're allowed.
Boudicca and Lucky Phil on the jammer line for their teams. Both of them just facing a heavy-duty scrum going to the pivot line. And there goes Boudicca.
Boudicca will get out first in the back. Phil with one left, and that's Zimmer, but Zimmer all over him. He stays in bounds, and he is now through.
Oh, Boudicca getting knocked to the outside. He thought he was in bounds. Sees Lucky Phil coming up, calls it off after scoring 4 points.
Looking for hands. Where's the jam
I see
ref
hands.
I see a 0 there. I'm waiting.
Yeah,
It looks like they're chatting about what did he get past, and that's a 0 hand sign coming out of Kilt.
Interesting.
Yeah, well,
so
Boudicca-
0-0 jam.
He went down. It's always fun to watch Boudicca. Like I said, he's one of the taller guys out there, but when he compresses down to about 2.5 feet to get through a pack, it's pretty impressive. He did not, however, do that in time to pick up any points on that last one. Score right now sitting at 186-39 on the line. Mr. T and Mosh Pit Nujutsu. Nujutsu out of the pack first with lead.
Mr. T taking advantage of that outside line. I hear whistles being blown. Not on Mr. T, though. He is out on his initial pass. Jiu-Jitsu hitting the pack. Almost through. Gets knocked 1 foot to the infield. Calls it off. Picks up 3 points for the Victorian Vanguard.
Mr. T got shut out on that one. There you go.
He doesn't look too disturbed by it, though. He seems pretty cool
He
with
lives
it.
in Canada. He's got a permanent smile.
Yeah, he does. I think it's the ginger in his beard. It keeps him happy.
Yeah, that's a little craziness.
So 3-point jam for the Victorian Vanguard. They're now at 42 points, 186 for the Murder. 17 minutes, 50 seconds in the game. Lodge jamming for the Murder. Serial Killer for Victorian.
Lodge getting pushed to the front. He's going up against Princess Twinkletoes and pops through and will pick up lead for Vancouver.
Twinkletoes reporting to the penalty box. I don't know what their penalty was.
I want to say that's their first penalty of the game,
Yeah.
actually. I don't recall seeing them in there before. And Lodge at the back on a tripod from VMRD gets clipped at the last second by JS and recycled. Vancouver slowly reforming back on the track from the penalty box to perhaps hold down the fort and lock down the jammer. Nojutsu out there with the star now removed. Sorry, I said Nojutsu. That is not Nojutsu. That's a Serial Killer at the back. I want to say with the star stashed in his hand.
Serial Killer just getting hammered at the front of the pack. Victorian setting up their defense in the back as Lodge hits the back. Oh, Lodge getting around on the outside.
Beautiful work.
Barely staying in bounds. Vanguard just didn't have that track coverage, leaving maybe 3 inches on that outside line for Lodge to get through.
I was going to say you'll get the view from the camera, but we don't have a camera on this view. Trust me, that was a beautiful outside line straddle if you want.
Serial Killer, just no mercy.
Lodge looks like he's going to head to the penalty box.
Oh, how about that? And again, since that happened on the far side, we have a star pass on the Vanguard side to Princess Twinkletoes. They are now the jammer.
Yeah, so their first penalty and the first star pass of the VMRD. And they are Twinkletoesing all the way around as the jam comes to an end. He'll put up 5 points, much to the encouragement of the VRDL players off to the left on your screen. I'm not sure if you can hear them, but everybody is clapping, and they are a very happy skater.
5 points for the Vanguard. They're now at 47. 12 points for the Murder. They're now at 198. We have ourselves a timeout being called by the Vancouver Murder.
I think they weren't expecting that, and so they're kind of just a little taken aback, and so timeout for them.
I bet they're trying for a little momentum kill.
I feel there is
the
a momentum
Vanguard.
that they need to kill, actually. That's a very good point. Well, let's talk about sponsors. S1 helmets. The S1 Lifer Visor helmet is a next level protection. I've seen those more and more as they've come out, and you look around the tournament and you see a few visors kicking here and there.
Well, and now S1 has a helmet with a visor on it, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's it. Yes, they did the visor helmets. They also make knee pads, though, and they're durable, functional, and stable. The S1 Pro knee pads are built for roller derby. I recall getting a set of them last year, the version 1, and they've tweaked version 2, if I'm not mistaken, longer straps and stuff like that. There were a few little hiccups there. They've, manufactured them and worked on them with the skaters and said what's going on, and skaters gave feedback, and they've improved their product. Improving their product, hopefully, will be the VMRD mosh pit out there on his own on this power start as Lodge is locked in the penalty box. Walker's not going to help things, and he knocks out Nojutsu to the inside and recycles them.
Lodge back on the track, taking advantage of that open inside line. Vanguard closing the door on that inside access, though.
Nojutsu falling down and looking for, he's actually standing back, taking a breather to figure out where he's going to cut through, but in that time, Lodge managed to get through and out of the pack, and he will take lead for this jam. Nojutsu on 1 foot getting through, but then getting knocked out by Bennett and picking up and cutting the track before Bennett even engaged him. He nodded in agreement to the ref as he went to the penalty box.
Power jam number 12 in this game for the Murder, and they are taking advantage of it.
I want to say Bennett thought that penalty was his. He was actually heading to the penalty box.
He's like, oops.
And then turned around and got back to join his team. Lodge now going up against Just Incredible. Just Incredible putting him to the inside and drawing a cut track penalty. Beautiful work by Just Incredible.
That is power jam number 7 being given to the Victorian Vanguard. Jiu-Jitsu back on the track, taking the long way around. Vancouver setting up their defense in turn 3.
Oh, he's got the toe stop destruction happening. His toe stop blew apart. A big chunk of rubber sitting on.
Oh my goodness, that is one of the most annoying things that could happen.
Well, losing a toe stop is way more annoying and much more entertaining though for the crowd and announcers.
Yes,
that little injured animal kind of look. But he doesn't have any problems right now. He's back on the track. But meanwhile, Lodge able to get out of the penalty box and get back on the track to the front where VMRD is waiting for him. Ooh, Mr. T coming in as a pivot to do some offense. Runs right into the VMRD men and gets nowhere.
10-point jam for the Vancouver Murder. They break the century mark again. They are now at 208 points. Victorian Vanguard 47. Just over 13 minutes left on the time clock.
I'd be curious to see what gear problem Nojutsu's having and whether or not it's going to affect him coming back out. Not sure how much of that toe stop he lost or not.
Well, luckily there are vendors here who have toe stops. So that's the good thing, is if it's just a matter of getting a new toe stop in there, that can be handled fairly quickly. And speaking of fairly quickly, we have Zimmer out
with the star for the first time.
And picking up lead jammer very quickly for the Vancouver Murder.
Lulu sitting on the bench for VMRD. Zimmer to the outside, got right through with no problem. 5 points on the board there. As we see the jammer for VMRD on the ground, taking a slow time getting up.
Yeah, Lucky Phil hasn't been so lucky when it comes to avoiding hits, unfortunately, in this game.
He gets up from them, though, so that's a good thing.
Yes, very much so.
Oh, look at that pinch by Svensson there. Just a little bump onto Pretty skate machine, and he allows Zimmer through for another scoring pass of 5 points.
Lucky Phil taking advantage of open spots in the pack, gets out on the initial pass. Zimmer going to the box.
He did a little heavy jump there and ended up with a penalty on that. Phil getting bounced everywhere. Is he going to earn a low block on that? No. Okay, they let it go. Phew.
Well,
stand
he
aside.
fell, and then the player who fell over him, that was a little slow. That wasn't immediate.
That's
so.
stand aside. Stand aside kept himself in a bridge position. So, yeah, there we go. 5 points for VMRD. Lucky Phil into the back of Nelson, and now he's got to dance with stand aside once again. Stand aside steps out of bounds. Phil takes advantage of that, but then gets put out on the other side of the track and has to come back. Nope, no, he doesn't. I guess whoever was over there at the end helped him out by saying, nope, you're
no
safe.
No pass, no penalty.
5 points. Zimmer back on the track, takes the inside, and will go through for 4 points.
Look at the speed that Zimmer is picking up.
Let's see what's going to happen here. Holy crap. I mean, excuse me. Sorry. I apologize to all the young Wow. Did you see the power he was putting on that skate to get there before
Yes.
the jammer called that?
Lucky Phil was able to call it off, though, before getting another scoring pass on that last pass on that jam. 12 points total for the Victorian Vanguard. They're now at 59. 14 points for the Vancouver Murder. They're now up to 222 points to 59 for the Vanguard. 10.5 minutes left on the period clock, and look at that. We have Walker out there jamming
Another
for the
new
Murder.
jammer. Vancouver's changing things up, which is nice. Going to let other people jam.
But look who's lead.
There you go, exactly. Serial Killer out of the pack first for VMRD, 5'11", and he will have lead. Meanwhile, if Walker out of the pack and out for a initial pass, and Serial Killer going to call it off and stem the bleeding. Zimmer did not pick up any points on that Superfly pass that he did earlier, by the way, the one that I made a boo-boo with.
2 points scored by Serial Killer. Vanguard now at 61 points. Vancouver holding steady at 222. 9 minutes, 45 seconds in the game.
Faster Chief going to line up against Boudicca.
Vancouver deciding to let Victoria have the line right up against the jammer.
There's one in the box there. This is Mr. T on a penalty, so that's putting Vancouver at a slight disadvantage. They're waiting on Faster Chief. Faster Chief getting some help from Princess Twinkletoes. Not enough help, though. Still stuck behind that 3-wall of Vancouver blockers.
Pretty skate machine looked like they were going up to assist Faster Chief, but was denied that opportunity.
And Faster Chief going up against Zimmer. Zimmer, big shoulder hit, but while skating backwards, not causing a direction of gameplay penalty. At the front, though, Boudicca now going up against Lulu and number 82, McFly. Oh, heavy.
Faster Chief
hit.
just getting flattened.
By Walker here, but then he gets up and out, and finally lead granted to Faster Chief after all that work.
Wow.
Well earned.
Nice defense by the Vanguard as they hold in Boudicca. Oh, I thought he was going to take off the helmet cover.
Okay, penalty issued, forearm penalty to McFly. 82 is going to go to the penalty box. Boudicca having no success on this jam. Quite interesting to see that. There we go. Of course, the announcer curse. Gets out of the pack as I say that. And Faster Chief is burned out. He has worked hard to get the points that he did, and that's 5 points at least for him. And that will put Vanguard sitting at 66 and Murder at 222. Wow, look at those numbers. They're not a palindrome, but they're kind of cool to look at.
Less than 8 minutes in the game.
Lucky Phil out there with his proper shirt on, and it looks like a timeout being called by Vancouver. Get some breathing time.
Interesting time for a timeout.
I was just looking up at the clock. I'm going, okay, you just said there was 8 minutes left. They've still got 2 timeouts. Well, this is their last timeout. They've still got an official review possible. Mm-hmm. They're leading by quite a bit. why not take a breather? Maybe they're doing it for the other team. Maybe they're being Canadian.
Or maybe because of penalty counts, they are trying to get everyone to chill out because they don't want anyone fouling out.
That could be nice. Always nice to finish a game
with all of your
the
players.
Team. Yeah, that could be the case. Looks like you're getting a pep talk from coach.
But this is a great chance for the Vanguard to bring it in as well, because I think they just need a break because they have just been getting hammered. They're obviously, they've outscored themselves compared to the first half. They've definitely gained momentum, but I think a little rest for them is going to do nothing but help them at this point.
Rest always helps when you're in the middle of a game like this. So they're going to, they're reorging. They didn't have quite the same team meeting that Vancouver did, but I see the coach down there chatting with them, and now we're going to have an official timeout after the timeout. Interesting. Kill Trip coming up here to take a look at some points and chat, grab a gulp of water. Head ref out there talking with the penalties. We were just talking about how many people are near, and it looks like the head ref is equally as concerned with that as Vancouver may or may not be.
I do wonder if someone has reached the threshold, or
you gotta be. You can't say that somebody's not at 6 out there, if not several people.
That's right, because again, we had 3 players total on 5.
They were on 5
coming into the half.
I'm trying to think. So that was Payne Threatsky that was at 5, and number 100, Mr. Scott Slamilton.
Oh, yes.
I'm trying to think when's the last time we saw Scott Slamilton out there. Is he even out there? I'm not seeing him on the bench or on the track.
Well,
did we miss?
We may have missed it. We may have missed it. I mean, there's so much going on the track.
I'm looking around. Like, I don't see him sitting and watching. He's not
unless he's
behind
in the
us.
Back. No.
That's Bennett out there with a 00. No, Scott Slamilton is not to be seen. I did see him stretching earlier without his helmet. Now, he did have injury last year in a bit. I don't think I saw him get injured. But back to the track. We are off of the official official timeout and back on the track. Game on. Lodge is out jamming for Vancouver and gets lead. Meanwhile, Lucky Phil also jamming and out of the pack for VMRD.
Lodge coming in for a scoring pass. Oh, the pack just blew apart just as he came in.
I don't know how
he didn't have to do anything. Just skate right down the middle, picked up his 4 points, called off the jam. Just under 7 minutes left in the game. 226 points for the Vancouver Murderers, 66 for the Victorian Vanguard.
Wow. When that happens as a gem, you're just like, oh, yes. Thank you so much.
It's like that, yeah. It's like perfect timing ever.
And Mr. Testosterone lining up against Mosh Pit No Jutsu. I'm hearing some cheering out of the left-hand side here. The Lane County lining up and getting ready, I believe, for the next game. Not sure what was said on the house call. Mr. T getting lifted, but getting that apex jump and picking up lead.
Now Jitsu taking off the helmet cover, doing the star stash as they try to make their way through the pack, coming out of the...
Boom! Somebody just got blown apart by Mr. T.
And Mr. T is through for a scoring pass, picking up 5 points for the Vancouver Murder. Jitsu still working on the initial pass, doing the star stash. Vancouver not fooled by that. They see him. Oh,
Mr. T making easy work out of that
ducking
blocking.
Under the pack.
They're lining up again, getting ready for him this time, trying to cover the whole track. He's going to point, talking to somebody. There goes those C-cuts that I was talking about earlier. And then he'll stop, wait for his team to come in and sweep through.
Pretty skate machine saying, I'm going to give you a little parting gift before you leave the pack.
And he is through with much assistance of his team. They've got a goat at the back there.
That's
Walker
Lulu.
Playing with Lulu, yeah. And Mr. T jumps over that single blocker that was on the inside line, making easy work of Pretty Skate Machine.
VMRD setting up a tripod in the front, but Mr. T going around.
Heavy fall.
But he's laughing.
He is. He's laughing. He looks at just incredible. He hit so hard. He actually lost his helmet cover as his neck whipped back.
Yeah.
Luckily, his neck is thick.
That was a 24-point jam
Incredible.
for the Vancouver Murder. They're now at
Incredible.
250 points. Vanguard holding steady at 66. 4 minutes, 42 seconds left on the game clock.
An official timeout being called. And again, Ninja chatting with the skaters at the front there.
So Nijitsu in the penalty
remember
box.
I was telling you about his toe stop?
Yes.
He seems to be looking at it again. Skellington was right there, didn't say anything to him, so we are back in action. Official timeout over, and jam starts, and immediately Nojutsu back onto the track, getting knocked out by stand aside. At the front, though, big hits happening as Lodge makes his way to the front and to the last two VMRD blockers. Another one joining them, Lulu back in. Pretty Skate Machine doing a great bit of bridging, getting ready to react as necessary.
Nice work by the Vanguard covering that track. Nelson trying to come in and spring Lodge.
And Lodge steps around. Just incredible on the inside. Meanwhile, Nojutsu removing the helmet cover, looking to do a star pass. Psychs out Sandicide and gets past him as Lodge makes his way around back in, right into the back of Just Incredible, who takes him out. And again to the other side, to the inside, Just Incredible taking the time to pull Lodge back as far as he can. At the front, Nojutsu dealing with Walker and Bennett. And getting knocked to the inside, shaking his head in dismay.
And look how frustrated he is. Gets recycled all the way back behind Walker. Walker just looking at him saying, come on.
Walker, so tall and lanky, is able to spread his whole body across at least 2 or 3 lanes on the track, and that is so frustrating as a jammer.
4 points scored by the Vancouver Murder. No points for the Vanguard. Vanguard stuck at 66. Vancouver 254, just under 3 minutes left in the game.
And Vanguard's coach is over, and I thought they were going to be calling something, but it turns out Walker is calling an official review or a challenge on that last play. Or are they going to take it as a timeout? I'm not sure.
Go, get all points.
Yeah, it is being labeled an official review, and Walker is in, well...
He's pantomiming something.
Yes.
It looks like he's looking for a high block. I did see him do the high block sign.
I'm trying to follow the pantomimes, like 3 syllables, sounds like.
Okay, it's a movie.
Want to remind everyone that the next game on this track, another men's game, we have Lane County versus the Wheels of Mayhem.
Wheels of Mayhem. I believe they are also a new team in the MRDA.
No, they're from Mexico.
I think. I don't want to miss... I should know.
They might be from Mexico.
I should know, but yes, I want to say...
Murder wanted to upgrade...
Perhaps.
to the blue jammer.
Okay. So no.
So yes, you were right.
Listening to the ambiance.
You were right that with Walker pantomiming the high block, they wanted that called against jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And the referees say, no. We're
That's
cool.
cool. We killed a couple minutes there, maybe. And with that, we have 2:57 left in this game. The score right now, 2:54 Vancouver Murder, 66 Victorian Vanguard, and Walker.
Walker versus Faster Chief. Faster Chief trying to just push through that back wall of Murder. Walker near the front.
Zimmer went up to join him. We saw that, and I thought it was Walker making a break for it, but that was Zimmer going up front, pinching. He had 4 to deal with, and Zimmer managed to pinch him a hole at the front, and Walker's out with the lead for Vancouver.
Faster Chief going down in the front.
Wow, Svensson bowled him over, but did not get a penalty out of that. And Walker
Walker
to the
just
back.
wiggles his way through.
Lulu did that hand move of, darn, I missed that. And he was frustrated, and a forearm going to Svensson. There we go. This time he takes out Lulu and gets a forearm penalty as Walker is back in again for another scoring pass. Faster Chief has removed the helmet cover. He's got to deal with Zimmer and Payne Thretzky.
Nice partnership in the front, but Zimmer going to the penalty box.
Leading with the head.
Walker
Oh.
reporting to the penalty box.
Immediately, as soon as that whistle blew, he curved. He knew it was him and went to the penalty box. That's going to put Faster Chief out there on a power jam. He gets knocked out and recycled.
This is the 10th power jam in favor of the Victorian Vanguard.
Oh, Bennett. Oh, he got a low block. It was either direction or low block because he came.
It's something.
He came down backwards and he was low and tripped up. Just incredible. Beautiful move by Faster Chief. A spin reverse. Apex jump.
Barely nailed it.
Still alive.
Oh.
And there goes some more points for him as he dances around Walker. Thought he was going to lean up against Walker.
Walker taking himself
Sent to
out.
the air by Lulu. A little clip there. This is getting fun in the last couple of minutes. 1 minute left in this game.
Threatsky
Some heavy
noticing Faster Chief behind him, but then Faster
Boom.
Chief does
another
the
4. That is the highest scoring jam, if I'm not mistaken, for Victorian.
14 points. 45 seconds left in the game. We have time for one more jam. 264 points for the Murder, 80 points for the Vanguard. And we have another timeout.
I believe it's an official review being taken as a timeout because no one is approaching to actually challenge.
This is a Victorian Vanguard official review.
Exactly. Well, they're the only one with one left.
Well, no, they have regular timeouts.
Oh, no,
so this
sorry.
is
They're the only one that could do an official review because obviously Vancouver lost their last one, right?
Well, Murder has nothing. They have used
They
all
got
their
nothing.
timeouts. They have used their reviews. So Victoria says, all right, we're going to take this official review. We do see the captains. Oh,
They are
more
talking.
high
Oh.
block.
I saw some hand sweeping of the feet. You know what they're gonna probably? I wonder if they're asking for that Bennett hit to be upgraded, perhaps.
Oh, maybe.
Because he did sweep out the feet. But I mean, we'll see. Ninja's coming over here to give us a heads up on K Pasa. Bennett. Okay, so yes, Ninja over here giving us a heads up, and that is exactly what it is. They're looking for an expulsion on him.
And it looks like it's not happening.
I wouldn't, no. Like, mind you guys didn't see it on the screen, but back here, it happened right in front of us. Bennett on the outside line came reverse direction to come back and join and help out his jammer. In doing so, he clipped the legs of Just Incredible. He ended up getting a low block / direction. There were 2 different calls and ended up going to the box for that. It wasn't an intentional move at all to lose the feet out from Just Incredible. Testosterone on the line. Look at that move. Oh, my gosh. Did you? Sorry, folks
That
at
was
home.
incredible.
We are missing. You're missing the camera angle on that one, but Mr. Testosterone.
That was a Pegasus against over
Right
the
at
other
the-
team.
right
That
at the
was
whistle.
Amazing.
The other team, he just jumped and wrapped around them. That was, I'd have to say, beautiful.
Defense there starting to block.
I am speechless because
Yeah.
that was just so amazing.
I've seen Scald Eagle do that in a demo video, that apex, straight apex jump, if you want to call it. And that's exactly what he did, but this time there was people there, not a chair.
Lucky Phil still working on the initial pass for the Vanguard.
Oh!
Mr. Testosterone hitting hard on that outside edge on
That was
turn 2.
Pretty skate machine getting a chance, a piece of Mr. T as he goes through. Lucky Phil on his, at the front dealing with that tripod as Bennett falls back to bridge. And Phil is Smiley Pete right now, but Phil is out of the pack. As is Mr. T. Mr. T grabbing his leg. Charlie Horse, perhaps, calls off the jam.
Time has expired on the clock. So the unofficial final, 80 points for the Victoria Vanguard. Oh, Mr. T did manage to do something in that last jam that took himself out.
He got hurt. Pretty Skate Machine is the guy that clipped him. And he just came over and said, hey, sorry about that. As Mr. T is ringing in pain. Wriggling in pain? Either way. he's in
Writhing.
pain. Writhing. Thank you. There's the word I was looking for.
Wow. So Mr. T is back up with his team. So yes, the final score, 274 for the Vancouver Murder, 80 for the Victorian Vanguard. Oh my goodness.
What is in front of us right now?
That is...
He's got $1 in his back.
I
back
don't,
pocket. I don't know if you can
can't
see it on
unsee
camera.
this. Yes,
but
a
there
man
are a
in
lovely pair of coconuts in front of us.
Yes.
And booty shorts.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know what just happened there, but they took a picture of the scoreboard,
Yes,
which we
they
were
did.
just summarizing. Yes, 274-80 for Vancouver over Vanguard, and wow, that was a great time with a wonderful ending.
That was an amazing game. A very physical game, a hard-fought game, and a lot of fun to watch.
Great derby.
Yes.
That was just beautiful derby, beautiful plays, great teamwork to watch on both sides, and wow. Thank you, Vancouver. Thank you, Vanguard. Beautiful.
All right, on that note, we want to remind everyone to stay tuned for the next game on this track, another men's game, Lane County versus the Wheels of Mayhem. I am Tara Armoff.
I am G.I. Jones.
And we're out of here.